Yo, Toilet Talks Football here. We are in the middle of our international break, and I, for one, could not care less. So I'm here to talk to you about Chelsea's start of the season. Let's go. To be honest, I'm pretty encouraged by what I've seen. We've gotten 4 points out of a possible 9, which on paper doesn't sound great, but considering we had City, who no one expected us to get anything from, and Wolves, who have been our bogey team for the last few years, and Palace, who we've played brilliantly against over the last few years, I think it was pretty expected. Except the Wolves and Palace results, we would have probably switched around if we could have predicted anything. But let's start off talking about City. I know 2-0 is a convincing defeat scoreline, if we're just looking at the scoreline. But I think we played really well. We went toe to toe for them when every metric. If you just watch the game for the 90 minutes, you will see we matched them. It's just they got 2 goals and we didn't, unfortunately. I think if Jackson had a clutch bone in his body, he would have scored. He would have scored probably 2. I think he had some great chances, but he fluffed them as we know he likes to do. And yeah, City took theirs. So especially Haaland, I think Cucurella can now go into the Guinness World Record books as having the shortest lived chant of all time. Obviously, after winning the Euros, he was feeling himself a little bit too much, and he went at Haaland saying he's terrified. And then 20 minutes into the new season, he gets absolutely bodied for his first goal of the season. So I think there's a lesson to be learned there from everyone seeing that unfold. Although I do love Cucurella though. I've been backing him since he joined Chelsea. You can see in one of my videos from last season, I was saying that Cucurella's, we didn't see it from him under Potter and Lampard, but I think there's a player in there and that we should be starting him ahead of Chilwell. And here we are with him being a nailed-on starter and getting into the team of the tournament in the Euros, while Chilwell is on his way out of Chelsea. So that's another sign of Maresca knowing what he's actually doing. But, no disrespect to Chilwell. I've said from the start as well with him, he is an amazing wing back and just not a very good fullback. It's just the player he is. And especially in Maresca's system where he wants his fullbacks inverting, that is a nightmare for a player like Chilwell who just wants to bomb up and down the wing and be more of an attacking threat. So, yeah, it makes sense for everyone involved. But yeah, we went toe to toe all game. And even though we lost and under Poch, I think we got 2 draws against City, and we have given them good games. But those games, they were pretty chaotic. And one thing Pep hates is chaos. So against City, it worked out okay. But over the course of the season, you need some sort of structure. You need some sort of game plan. Players need to know what they're actually doing. And you can see even when things don't pull off, because it's very early in Maresca's tenure and players are still getting used to his demands. Certain things aren't really happening or clicking the way they should, but you can see what they're trying to pull off. And I think once the players get used to it, I think we'll be good. I think despite the loss, it shows a lot to look forward to in the coming season. So, yeah, I think the City game was a good start despite us losing. Against Wolves, I think we could see more of what Maresca ball was supposed to look like. 6-2, very emphatic win. Madueke with one of the most disrespectful showcases of all times, from entering Wolverhampton and saying everything about the place is shit, and then dunking on them with a hat-trick, a brilliant hat-trick at that, and then taking a match ball home and then laughing through his apology to the City in his interview. I think, yeah, he's going to be on Wolves' wanted list for a very long time. I think he's going to be able to go there without being booed for a while. That was an incredible performance, incredible amount of disrespect, and I'm here for it, man. He embraced the role as a villain and really brought his best self to the occasion. Gotta respect it. But yeah, in terms of the performance as a whole, defensively, I think, set pieces still something we need to work on by the looks of it. Hopefully, again, with time, Maresca sorts that out, because we can't be leaking some of the goals we were leaking. It's just not a good look. But Palmer, 3 assists and a goal. It's rare that a player scores a hat-trick and doesn't get man of the match. But I think Palmer did, didn't he? So it just shows. And I don't even think he's gotten into the full flow yet this season. And he still put the numbers up. Some brilliant assists, good goal. And yeah, Joel Felix announced his return, the prodigal son, back to Chelsea. I know a lot of you boys were hating him. For what reason? Just because under Graham Potter, he took Mason Mount's position and he showed us what a good 10 looks like. And a lot of Yadars and flipping proper Chelsea xenophobes were just hating on the guy for playing well for us, chalking it up to not getting that many goals and assists. When if you look at the actual minutes he played compared to the goals and assists he got, his record wasn't actually bad. It wasn't amazing, but the team was a mess, and he was our only attacking shining light during that time. So now he's back, gets linked up with likes of Cole Palmer, Neto, Jackson and Kunku, and now Sancho. I think there's a lot to look forward to. But I think if I'm honest, I would rather see him play false nine than us drop Jackson. Now I know Jackson has won over a lot of Chelsea fans. I'm not one of them. People will say, "Oh, Jackson scored 14 goals last season." So Tammy Abraham scored 15 in his debut season, and it was quite clear to everyone that he wasn't good enough. And in terms of Jackson, yeah, he is good with the ball at his feet. He can beat players, but his movement is so bad as well, and which it inhibits sometimes some of our attacks because he's not in the right position, or he like gets on the toes of a. As I was saying, his movement's so bad. Sometimes he just gets on the toes of the when the midfield or the wingers have the ball and they're driving forward, and he'll just stand in front of them. Like, it's really bad, and he can't finish. I know he scored goals, but if you look at the difficulty of those goals, it's just like they were put on a plate for him, most of them, or they were against relegation fodder. He got a hat trick against 8 men. That's 3 of his goals. Without that hat trick against 8 men, that's 11 goals, and that's equaling Morata's tally in his first season at Chelsea. Like, you can't convince me that Jackson is good enough. He could play for like a mid-table Premier League team, but to lead the line at Chelsea Football Club, this is what I'm talking about, standards again. I think it's wishful thinking, hoping he's going to just develop into this world beater. Like, he does have some good traits. Like I said, he's good with the ball at his feet. He can beat a man. But his in-game intelligence and his striking ability is nowhere near the standard of a Chelsea number 9. And I think that's going to become more and more apparent with time. It's just frustrating. Like, I think Felix, he is like, as a false 9, I think he could do some damage. I think as soon as he came on against Wolves, you just see the upgrade. See just the quality of the touches he's taking, just the ingenuity, the quality of that finish. That was a brilliant finish, so emphatic, and he can do a lot what Jackson does as well. He's great with the ball at his feet. He can beat players as well. So I think Jackson is better than him in the air. But other than that, what is Jackson? And he's more physically imposing. But other than that, Felix has got him on every other ability. So I'd much rather see more Felix in the 9 than in the false 9 than Nicholas Jackson. But that's just me. We'll see how it unfolds along the season. But yeah, Palace Chelsea 1-0. We should be beating Palace really, but just a case of they scored an unstoppable goal. Eze dispatching brilliantly. That's a world-class talent right there in Eze. I'm surprised no one came in for him in the summer. But yeah, we didn't finish our dinners really. I think the clinical nature of Madueke that ran Wolves ragged in the last match didn't really come out to play against Palace. I don't want to be too hard on him. He scored a hat-trick in his last game. Like, it happens, and you can't expect it every week. And to be honest, with Madueke, I think I don't want to get sucked into recency bias either. Like, yeah, he had a great game against Wolves, but I wasn't expecting him to keep that up for the rest of the season. He's still a young player. He's still got a long way to go before he's elite. But it's good to see him get a run in the team. I think, yeah, Palmer, he could have done more. Jackson, he scored our only goal, but he should have scored 2 really. And unlike, again, a lot of people are coming to his defense like, why are you killing him for not scoring that chance later on? It's not just the fact he didn't score that chance. It's just the fact every chance he has that's above medium difficulty, he misses. It's just, you just want more from your number 9 at Chelsea. You shouldn't be handed on a plate to you every time if you want to score. And even the goal he scored, if you look at the technique he used to score from like 1 yard out, he's like stretched his right foot, and it wasn't even like a convincing connection to the ball. But yeah, we just need that killer instinct, man. That's pretty much summarized our first few games. I haven't spoken about our Europa Conference League games because I'm not acknowledging that tournament. I'll tune in for the final and we'll lift. To be honest, even if you reach the final and win it, I probably won't do any content on it. It's the Conference League, isn't it? Like I see them as training sessions. To be honest, I'm not tuning into that at all. But in terms of our Premier League start, I'm encouraged. I think there's a lot to look forward to. We've seen the foundations laid for a good season. Maresca looks like he knows what he's doing. We've made some really good signings, and I'm excited to see us really push for top 4 this season. To be honest, if we had a world-class keeper and maybe more like depth in centre back, I'll be expecting a title push really, but we don't. So yeah, until then, I'm just looking forward to how we develop as the season goes on. And we've made some really good signings, which I'm going to do more of. I'm going to judge our transfers in our next video. It's just me. What am I talking about? In my next video. But yeah, thanks for listening. Yeah.